Planet Dolan.
From sloppy boob money to rubbing genitals on jeans, the Planet Dolan crew reenact even more of the best true stories from our subreddit about the most annoying things we've seen customers do. I'm Doopie, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by RavenMouse. The most annoying thing Dolan ever experienced is when he worked in a restaurant. Some customers would pay for their meal, but they would hold their bank card, or worse, cash in their mouth, and proceed to hand it to him. One time he was serving a couple at a fast food restaurant when the girl reached into her tits, no bra included, and pulls out her credit card. The card was wet when Dolan went to wipe it. He told them to wait for a moment while he ran out the back and basically rubbed all of his skin off in the sink. Number 9 was submitted by Courtney Dash62. Nixiam was at the supermarket late at night once when a pair of the loudest drunk people he had ever experienced walked in. The girl of the couple was walking from aisle to aisle, singing at the top of her lungs about cats taking shits, before singing racist chants to herself. Her boyfriend, who was also wasted, was trying to kiss everyone in the shop, including Nixiam. Fortunately, the security guard grabbed them and escorted them from the premises. Everyone in the shop just stared at each other, unsure of what just happened. Number 8 was submitted by Kung Fu Ferret. Pringle was working at a local coffee shop once, and his day started out like any other. He served his usual customers, and when it came to the end of the day, he and his co-workers began cleaning the cafe. He was quietly enjoying the serenity of the afternoon and thinking about how chilled out his job was while he tied the garbage bag up. He took the trash out to the back door, but was stopped by something blocking the dumpster. It was a customer. The man looked Pringle straight in the eye, dropped his pants, and took a big steamy shit on the ground. Not the greatest way to end a shift. Number 7 was submitted by Skirsk. When Sid was 19, he was working at Walmart stocking stuff on the shelves when a big sweaty woman came up to him and yelled, "Hey, shithead, where the fuck are the bathrooms?" To which he responded,
"Why are you yelling?"
And she replied, "Because I have to take a massive shit." He pointed and said,
The toilets are to your right."
She wiped her forehead and said, "Thank you, sir," while holding her stomach. After a while, Sid was called to clean the women's bathroom. To his horror, the toilet and the walls were completely covered in shit. He still has nightmares about it to this day. Number 6 was submitted by LightGoner. Pandora was working at a supermarket once when a woman walked up with some food in a clear package from the refrigerator aisle. She was very concerned that there was visible water droplets inside the cling wrap. Pandora politely explained to her that it was condensation. She looked at Pandora in slight shock and asked, "Yes, but how did the water get in there?" She then had to give her a science lesson on water evaporation, which she could see was blowing the woman's mind. Pandora could tell the woman didn't believe her, and she walked off to check her story with another employee. Number 5 was submitted by Shadowthebro. Spinal Palm and Princess Proton were once at a pharmacy casually browsing the items for sale. Another customer ran into the shop and grabbed a bottle of lube, ran up to the cashier, who was a young woman, and then he proceeded to pull down his pants, lube up his junk, and jerk himself off. Instead of being angry or scared, the cashier just sighed and said to him, "Really? You're doing this again, Greg." Spinal Palm and Princess Proton headed straight for the exit, but as they were leaving, the pervert winked at Spinal Palm and said, "Hey, handsome." Police officers arrived shortly after and arrested the crazy customer. What the fuck? Number 4 was submitted by EasterChu. Emoji was working in a pet store once when 3 kids burst into the store and ran straight to the puppies. Without asking, they opened the cage and all the puppies ran for their lives. The kids were chasing them all around the store. Emoji managed to catch them, and the poor dogs were shaking like they had been hunted by wild predators. The mother yelled at Emoji for not doing his job. But luckily, the boss stepped in and told the mother to control her damn pesky kids. They were banned from the store after that. Number 3 was submitted by Skate-Scoot. Melissa was waiting in line at a store once when a woman was checking out in front of her. The store had a raffle in order to raise money for breast cancer research. When the cashier asked the woman if she wanted to buy a raffle ticket and donate to the cause, the woman said no. She then continued on to explain to the cashier that cancer is not real, it's just a fungus. She then said that if anyone who had cancer just ate an alkaline diet, the cancer would just go away. The cashier just stared at her for a moment before awkwardly saying, "Okay." Before leaving, the woman added one more thing by whispering, "The government just doesn't want us to know the truth." Number 2 was submitted by Skye-Flyer. Tolop once saw a woman in the clothes store trying on pants, which wouldn't be so unusual if she was using the changing rooms, but she wasn't in the changing rooms. In the middle of the store, she'd take some pants off the rack, pull up her skirt, and shimmy into the pants. When they didn't fit, she would throw them on the ground without hanging them back up. The worst part of it all was that she wasn't wearing underpants. He could see her entire downstairs squeezing into jeans that were clearly too small for her. It was super gross. Number 1 was submitted by me. My grandma works at Walmart as a custodian and she cleans pretty much everything around the store, and there was also this new guy who also became a custodian. Basically, someone comes on the intercom and says, "We have an emergency in aisle 3. And my grandma begged the new guy not to go because he was super excited. He was like, "Oh, it's my first emergency. I wonder what it could be." My grandma was like, "You're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like it. Don't do it. Don't do it." And he rushes to the scene. And there it is, a mysterious pile of shit in the middle of the aisle. Is it a toddler shit? Is it an old person's shit? Nobody knows. It's just a mysterious pile of shit. Immediately, the new guy is super disappointed and upset, so my grandma, of course, takes the lead and she's like, "I'll clean it, no big deal." All of my friends who worked at that same Walmart come to me and they're like, "You'll never believe what your grandma had to do today." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "There's a mysterious pile of shit in the aisle and she had to clean it up." And I'm just like, oh my god, who just shits in an aisle? It was a mystery. Nobody knows. Huge thanks to the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the bravest thing you've ever seen someone do? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.